Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's episode 135 of Keeping It Real. I'm your host, Kadis, and today I got a glass of water, just like yesterday was hot chocolate, but I ran out of hot chocolate. And like always, I'm excited to be here. I can't keep a secret. Today I don't have actual khakis on. I have just like hiking pants on because I couldn't find my khakis in time. Gotta say, I do sadly check the interesting. Maybe can you hear too much background noise right now? We'll see. I do check the my YouTube analytics and my comments way too often. Kind of like right when I wake up, right before I fall asleep kind of thing. And this morning I woke up to a great comment, someone that said, "I never thought I'd find myself on someone's channel like yours, but I appreciate the pauses in the episode, and it feels like we're really in your mind." And I was like, okay, nice. Today, the sky is gray. It is drizzling, and I have work. It's also Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all those moms out there. Why do I do this? Is the weirdest thing ever. Keeping it real. Why do I do this? Here we are. Sorry for the silence. I'm stuck up in my head. It's a balance between being silent. It's a balance between being silent and talking too fast and too much. What to talk about, what to say. Yet again today I have woken up and done this before work. I'm starting to think there's this thing that I'm observing, I guess you could say. I'm starting to think that like when it's important, when I when it is really something that needs to get done, I get it done. That's actually what I'm starting to believe. Because it's like, here we are actually doing this, and then you have, something like my job, which is ever important, and I'm I was editing this during my job, like for not yesterday, but like the 2 or 3 days before yesterday, and that's bad, because I'm not supposed to be doing this on the clock, but I knew it was bad, and I knew I had to change it. So yesterday, I got to work, 30 minutes early, and I actually pretty much finished up, grinded out all of this before, it was time for me to clock in. There was a little bit of overlap, but with today's timing, I don't see why. It's 12:20 right now. We'll finish this episode around 1:15, 1:20. I'll go on my walk. It is raining, so I might just do everything from inside. I'm not sure. Regardless, everything will get done. And I'm sure it'll be about like 2 o'clock once I have all of the filming done for the day. And then, I'm free to go to work and have an hour. And then this will be well and complete by the time it's time for me to clock in. And that, my friends, is like ding, 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 ding. You can't ask for anything more than that. I'm worried about the audio. Hopefully the audio sounds okay. Apparently I am clipping, but like I'm trying to, it doesn't seem to be, we'll see. I'm on 48 volts, no INST. I don't even know what INST is still. And here we are on YouTube doing Keeping It Real. I'm wearing my tie, a button-down shirt, and I am happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. Gotta sit up straight, you know what I'm saying? Today's my roommate Sam's last day with us. I say us, but now it's just me. Never before was I really worried about this door behind me, being a problem when I filmed Keeping It Real, but now I'm really not worried because nobody will be living here. Next possible interaction with any of my roommates will be if one of them comes and drives from Greensboro, High Point, to grab a few of his things. But other than that, I'll see everybody in Colorado on the 21st of June. A little bit of a tricky situation. I've got, and Mom and Dad are not going to like this, but I need the money. So on the 19th of June, I have a dentist appointment. So on the 18th, I believe, I will be... Well, I'm not sure. You never know which days I might have off. But I probably won't because I'm asking off the 21st to the 2nd. So, I'll probably be working every day until then. And I need those shifts. I need that money. I need the shifts. Everything. So, you've got the 18th, in which after my shift, I'll probably just drive straight home, sleep at home, and then I'll wake up and head straight to the dentist for 9:30 on June 19th, and then make it to Raleigh right before my work, so I don't ever miss any work, but I get my teeth cleaned. That's kind of my plan, and I feel like Mom and Dad will disapprove of that, because it's like, why would you just come for one night like that? But that's what I got to do. I'm sorry. That's what I got to do. Had breakfast today. I had one egg. Jose left his eggs. Still going on. I'm going on a long streak, like a 4 or 5 day streak of not spending any money. Of course, there are the random subscriptions that come through that I made and forgot to cancel, but I'm seeing them and canceling them. And I'm seeing if I can just make one more day. No money. There's stuff I gotta buy, you know. I need to buy food. I need to buy... There's stuff I need to buy, but... There's also money that I need to save. Big anticipation for this week's check. Hoping it's at least $500. Hoping it's at least $500. I could really use that $500 if it's at least $500. You know, coming up, there's going to have to be some saving done for new equipment. I'm starting to get it in my mind that this year we're going to have... so around September, August, we're going to start doing... I'd love to kick it off with my buddy Sam in New York City. We're going to kick off a new round of podcasts, interviews, you know, and so I'd like another one of these cameras, this Canon XA70, and I also like to become familiar enough with the software to understand how to link these microphones to the cameras and do timecode sync rather than waveform sync. And then I'd like to do multicam. I think with the professional version of this software, it's just a one-time charge, I believe, like $300. I'm able to use multicam to automatically swap between camera views based on mic inputs. I think that actually is a ability that, you know, that it's within my reach, you know, and that would not only lessen the workload for me, but it would allow me to take the effort that I put into manually cutting the videos, manually syncing the videos. I'd be able to take that effort and put it into title cards, you know, merchandise, you know, other shit, stuff that needs my effort because it's simply doesn't even exist yet, you know. So with the new round, I have a lot of people in mind that I'd like to get in touch with for a new round of interviews, and I also have a handful, you know, 20 or so year in review podcasts to do with these people that I haven't seen for a year, when they were on the show a year ago, that I've told them, you know, I've been like, hey, you know, a year from now I'm going to get in touch with you, and I'm going to want to do another, you know, I'm going to want to go again with you, you know. You know? So it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of traveling on the days when I don't have work, especially if I'm, you know, taking a class on the fall. It's going to be a very heavy workload, and I'm going to need to suck it up. You know, that this is a big argument for taking online classes this fall. I think I am just going to do one class, and I think I'm going to have it be online. My mom said something very nice to me on the phone the other day. She said that she thinks that I have the discipline and responsibility to take an online class. Isn't that crazy? Throughout these years, my parents have always been like, don't do online classes. You know, like, you do better in person. Don't take classes online. But on the phone, my mom was kind of like, yo, you could sign up for an online class. And I'm like, Mom, stop it. You think I'm responsible? Get out of here. You mean that? Made me feel real good about myself. So yeah, probably philosophy, ethics, because that's the only class that I have an F recorded in, and it'd be good to get that F erased, I think. So. On my off days now, so coming up Tuesday is my next day off work. I think the goal should seriously be to do this twice. Have 2 Keeping It Real episodes, 2, cases of 24 shorts, 2 vlogs, 2 different days worth of Instagram reels, and schedule these things out for Colorado. Because it's going to be over a week. Assuming there's the 31st of June, it's almost 2 weeks. And there's not going to be Wi-Fi. There's not going to, it's going to be very, very loose, very tricky. We're going to be at Airbnbs, and, the Wi-Fi at these places, it's going to be, frustratingly slow. We'll see if I can upload anything at all. I imagine I'll take my equipment with me. Because even with pre-recorded things, I may, I enjoy doing this. So at the end of the day, I might want to do it, But I'm thinking, if I pre-record and I schedule, then if I still want to do it, even when I have things pre-recorded, then I can do that. And then those episodes can cover me when I'm, say, at the middle of August in New York City. Looking around at a university, or going to every Jersey Mike's and shaking hands and saying, "Yo, I'm seriously moving here. I'd like to work here at the end of the year." And then, it can continue. While I'm in Manhattan and I still get the itch to do this, then I can do it. And then those episodes can cover me when I'm, say, traveling to do the podcast in the coming months with the, all these people. So the episodes with the people, they hold a record. Never before has this channel, it's a kind of, how do I put this? I don't really enjoy, when you look at the analytics for this YouTube page, how there's a spike in the past. It's kind of like a messy stock, a good stock you want to see going up all the time, never having huge dips or huge spikes. You don't want to see that. You just want to see a stock that goes up slowly, right? And that's very much what you want to see when you look at graphs like viewership over time, watch time hours over time, subscribers over time. Now the subscriber graph does show that. When it comes to subscribers, I'm very much on a steady increase with no huge spikes, no huge dips. And that's great. That's great. But when you look at watch time hours, which is a really big statistic for me, because, people can click on your videos, people can click subscribe, but that doesn't mean that they're watching you. You know, that doesn't mean that they actually find what you do enjoyable enough to sit there and watch. They might just like the idea of you, you know? And watch time hours, isn't that pretty of a graph? We are at a high. You know, we're in the green by a certain percentage over the past like 4 months. You know, we're at the top of our game, but we're only like halfway to the peak that we were at 5-6 months ago. And that peak, I think, has a lot to do with the guests that I was having on. I was traveling places and bringing people on this show, and I was very headstrong about it. And I think it's important to realize that I'll never get that mojo, momentum, headspace back. But, you know, I will certainly, you know, I can certainly revisit these old guests, and I can definitely have new guests on. But I have to keep in mind that it won't have the same spark. It might not garner the same views. It's not what it's about, you know. So, is that what it's about, though? Like, am I going back and having more guests on and having my old guests back on because of the analytics? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because I like this quite a bit when it's just me and the camera. I do. No one can really, like, it's my routine, my schedule. Nobody really comes and upsets anything like that. It's just simple. It's just to the point. It's just me and the camera, and we just get it done. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, hello. One of my ears just went weird. That was strange. So I'll probably drive to work today because it's raining. Behind the camera, behind you right now, it's raining. Look how much fat I got in my face. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, you know, that's sort of the state of the YouTube, the state of the social media. Once again, happy Mother's Day. If you're out there and you're a mother, happy Mother's Day. I'm not out there and I'm not a mother, but, you know. But you know. Gotta give credit where credit's due. All right. I just flipped the screen around because I don't need to be looking at all that. Simply put, I do not need to be looking at all that. I just need to be looking at the lens. Looking at the lens. I just need to be looking at the lens. Relax. Take it one step at a time, one day at a time. Don't forget to relax. Hey, partner, do me a favor and relax. Should I try and walk today even though it's raining? Should I? Nah. Nah, I don't think so. You know what I might do? I might set up my nice camera and do some good B-roll in place of A, the drone stuff, and B, the fact that I'm not walking. I can make up for that with my chest mount rig. Do some sick B-roll with that. What is this guy doing? Is he really gonna come sit up on the top of these steps? I seriously hope not, but it seems like he is. What can you do? Just gotta push through. It's like, come on, I want to go to New York. So, better get used to this now, right? Yup. Sitting right there. I cannot believe that. Sitting right there. Makes me want to go inside. So for reference, it's me and this camera. And I'm not sure if I can be heard or not. And then I guess to you, it'd be like to your left. Directly to your left. This is the 3rd floor. So directly to your left, at the top of the staircase, someone has decided to just sit there. And listen, I'm not saying I own the staircase or I own the porch. I don't. And I don't know why I'm bothered by it, to be honest. I think this happened once before, but I didn't realize until like the very end of the episode that he had been there the entire time. But I just watched, I watched him walk from the concrete all the way up now, and I'm like, is he come here again? And yes, he is. Now, it makes you wonder, was he here? And quite frankly, I'm talking pretty loud right now, and it might be that it may be that yeah, whatever. Change the. So I had an egg for breakfast. Who really cares about that, though, Why did he come? Why? Just push through, no distractions. What is there to talk about here? Hoping the audio's okay. It should be. I think it's probably fine, to be honest. It's 12:43. Not even at the 30-minute mark. Damn it. Something I gotta work on, I think, if I'm gonna go live in New York City, is minding my own damn business. And I think I'm getting pretty good at that. But you can always get better. Mind your own goddamn business. There ain't no reason for you to be bothered by anybody or anything. It's just you and what you're doing. Mind your own business. I'm trying to mine mine, let me tell you. I'm trying to mine mine. The way this is set up, it should only be that, it should be that only now I'm picturing, like, imagine Times Square or something, and you're sitting in the middle of that. You can imagine that, put yourself there. That would be probably as hard of a challenge when it comes to minding your own business that you could get. Tonight should be a pretty easy shift. I'm working with a hardworking coworker, and we'll get it done. We'll get her clean. We'll get her ship shop shaped up. he lives there. Okay, he lives there. He was just having a smoke before he went inside. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta work. I got a lot of work to do on me because I don't know why that pissed me off so much. Like, ain't nobody gives a shit that I'm making a podcast on the porch. Like, it's none of his business. I bet you he's been smoking that same cigarette on that same stair on the same time of day for like years. You know, like, who the hell am I to get upset that it smells like Black and Milds? I don't. It's just not my place. It's just not my place. I was enjoying the silence, though. It allowed me thought. I didn't have to do anything. I could just think, you know? Woof. So. Yeah, so. So. I wonder. Hold on. I wonder what the knobs on the underside of my mic actually do. I have no idea. What an episode, right, y'all? Always something going on. Never something not going on. You know, I bumped this up an hour. I might find an hour where no one's out on my porch, you know? That was my across the street neighbor just left. Do 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 do. Well, I have to go on a walk, right? So I will go on a walk with the GoPro. It's just as far as the drone goes, you know. I guess walk first, See if it's raining later. It doesn't look like it's raining anymore. Drone should be fine. It is raining, I can see. Yeah, it's raining. But like very misty rain, you know? So we're gonna walk first. Change into a better shirt. And get out there. And get out there, you know? You know what I mean, man? There's 20 minutes left in the episode. More like 16 minutes left. 17. 16 and a half. And more like 15 minutes. And I'm feeling like, I don't know what I'm feeling like. Sounds like Sam's in there vacuuming. I'm out here keeping it real. Whoa. Whoa there. Yeah, not much to say to you today. This episode kind of got chopped up with my silence for the man on the stairs. And, Go thank your mother. Happy Mother's Day.